Good afternoon, guys. This is Real Estate Q&A Sessions week 58. We are 58 weeks strong, and we are nothing but appreciative. So welcome. Thank you guys for popping in here and showing love as always as we start week 58. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to go ahead and do this thing each and every week. I see you guys' lovely avatar faces. Some of the same folks every single week. Mecca Maid, what's going on? Jazz_Minds, hello. Appreciate y'all for popping in here as always. Mr. Thomas, to you. Hello, Nisha Michelle. Hey, y'all in here today. Appreciate y'all for popping in here. I'm actually starting on time today. It's crazy because I was just out at a property. If you guys didn't peep my recent post that I just put up, probably about 30 minutes ago, I was at a property. Jocelyn_Williams, what's going on? Appreciate you for coming in here too as well. So yes, guys, this is week 58 weeks strong of doing this show each and every Thursday. It might be 12 o'clock. It might be 12:05. It might be a later afternoon show, but it's 58 weeks of the same show every single week for 58 weeks straight. So I am very proud of that accomplishment. The next goal, because my first goal was to do a year straight, and I did a year straight. My next goal is to do 100 of these, and so I'm at 58. So we got this is why I don't do math on air. So 58. That means I have 42 more episodes to go. Mecca Maid says, I was just watching your walkthrough. Yes, that is how I walk through a property. So if you guys haven't checked that out, walk through the property. Mr. Thomas to you says 42. Yes, thank you. Because you're probably way better at math than I am. It's crazy that I even do this business and I'm not good at math. That's pretty funny because if I'm really bad at math, yeah. There's been times I've been bad at math and it's bit me in the ass. So this is why I don't do math live on air. I don't. But thank you for that, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas, to you. Thank you for being my on-air calculator. You know what I'm saying? Singled out loud, what's going on? Sneaking fit, what's going on? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for popping up on in here. As always, it's all love. Thank you so much. But yeah, so housekeeping rules as always while we get the show going is going to be what it normally is, guys. I don't ask you guys for anything. You don't have to pay for nothing. There ain't no ads in this joint. It's just me straight talking for an hour. Screenshot me, post to your story. Let me know let people know what we're doing here each and every week. I will say this. I will, it's not retweet because it's not Instagram. It's on IG, but I guess if you make a post, I will repost it on my story. Now, last week, Sneaker Fiend made a post. She's very good at being consistently showing and sharing the show. I forgot to add it to my story, so if you notice that, my apologies. But normally, if you guys screenshot me, post to your story, let folks know we're doing it, tag me, I normally repost it on my story so folks can know, hey, we got real love out here. Guys, again, we don't have to have 100 people in this live. We don't have to have 10,000. We just need 1, 2, the normal folks that come in here and ask the questions, and that's it. We're going to do our thing. I like to stay in my own lane. I like to mind my business. Right? When I come on here, I'm giving y'all my business. But outside of that, I'm not extra. I like to keep things simple, right? So you guys are my business, but outside of that, you know what I'm saying? I like keep things pretty much, on the smooth side. Damn, that's guys. I have a million. Oh shit! Watch this. Oh, there. Anyway, what am I? Don't worry about that. So, yes. So, guys, thank you for popping in here. Yes, Mecca Maid. I did do a walkthrough today. I am currently looking for another deal, as I'm always looking for deals, right? And so whenever you guys are in the market to find houses or you're looking for houses, you have to look every day. So every day, well, I've been slacking, but I'm looking at the multiple list service, looking at properties that are for sale. And this morning I looked and there was a house that, it's crazy. There was a house that I looked at, looked great online. The numbers worked, but not at list price. I think they were maybe 10,000 over what they should have been listing. But hey, look, that's their game. That's what they have to do. They have to make as much. When you list a property online on the MLS, their job is to make as much money as possible. It's not to give you a house at a discount. That's just what it is, right? You get deep discounts when you're buying off market and talking directly to the seller. But this property, like I said, on paper looked good. When I ran the numbers, they kind of work, right? The house is listed at $100K. The numbers work for a flip at 90. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. But I know that I don't know if they'll ever give me the house at a discount. Anyway, regardless, the numbers work to a degree enough to where it was like, all right, let me go further investigate. Because sometimes, like when you're looking at the pictures and you're evaluating a deal, you're only looking at pictures. You might think, oh, well, if the deal comes to being really close and you're running numbers and it's like, okay, these numbers could work based on what I see in the picture. The rehab cost doesn't look like it's going to be that much. And so if you're within like a $10,000 swing range of a deal either working or not working, you probably want to go see it. And so I said, hey, look, it's down the street. Let me go look at it, because I might see something in there that might add to the cost and this be a no deal. Or I might see something in the house that I might be like, oh, dang, I didn't know it had that. I can save this. And now my shaky deal that's on the fence now turns into an actual deal, to where I can at least offer full, list price. Right now, before I left, I knew I was looking at about 90K. So when I got there, the actual area, the neighborhood looked pretty damn good, and that adds value, right? The block value, street appeal, that matters, right? When you're flipping a house, you don't want to be flipping a house and trying to sell it to first-time home buyers and stuff like that, and you're on a house where there's nothing but straight board ups, and that plays a factor into things. Curb appeal, street appeal, and the area looked nice manicured lawns. People actually had lawns, and there's backyards full of grass. Like, it was a good looking neighborhood. On top of the fact, which you could not see in the pictures, the house next door looked like it had been renovated. Now, it might have been renovated by the homeowners, but it had fresh paint, accent trim, all that kind of stuff, and that aids into okay, I can see somebody living here in this area. This looks like a nice, kept area. I wouldn't have been able to determine that had I not went out and saw the property. I wouldn't have been able to determine that if I had just relied on the pictures from the MLS. So what also holds value, normally what you'll see is pictures of these properties, and you'll just see the interiors. You'll see the outside, but it's just framed and cut to where you see the outside of the actual property. Not often are you getting pictures where you're looking at the surrounding areas, the house next door, across the street, down the block. That plays a factor. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys don't know, if you have a deal that's marginal, like it's on the fence, numbers either work or don't work, get in your car and go look at the deal. Even if you don't have a agent, it makes a lot of sense to go do, because one thing that plays into the psyche of buyers on the back end is, what area am I buying into? Am I going to be in a war zone, or am I going to be, what I'm saying? Like, that plays a factor. So I don't know why this thread keeps sticking out like that, guys. I don't know, but it looks a little weird. I don't really care. I don't know why this lock keeps doing that. But anyway, so yeah, that is a major contributor. That is major when it comes to running your deals and being marginal on the fence with whether the numbers work or not. Go see the deal. So I went, looked at the deal. Obviously, the neighborhood was not what I expected and turned out to be a way better area than what I was looking at on the paper. And so when I went inside, the house was in a lot better condition than I thought. Seriously. And so whereas I might have thought I was going to spend $30K or $40K, I might be able to squeeze by with $25. 20. I can get it, and it's a small house. So smaller houses, 700 to 900 square feet. Depending on if I don't have to go in there and completely do all new drywall and everything, I can get in and out fairly quickly. For example, the house I just listed not too long ago, the blue house. You guys all saw the blue house. I was in and out of there in like 4 weeks. Small house. I like the smaller houses. I like the smaller rehabs. Just get in, out, boom, done. So when I went and saw this house in particular, guys, again, go follow my, not follow, but go look at the property walkthrough. You'll see that the house is in good condition, right? And so sheetrock can be saved, the floors can be saved. Obviously, the kitchen layout needs to be changed out. But other than that, it was a pretty standard rehab. They had a brand new furnace. They had ductwork already ran. Nice sizable basement, 6'10", which I love that height in a basement. You can finish it. You can add a bath. I mean, it was pretty standard cookie cutter type rehab. So my point is to you is this: if you're going to do the research, and let's say you get a deal or you're looking at a deal where the numbers, they work, and you went out and saw the property, and let's say you can't save anything, or let's say you have to add more to your rehab, so your offer price goes down and down and down. And maybe you're at the point where you're 15, 10K, 20K under list. I know the market's hot, but what did you just do? You just spent a lot of time, energy, and effort to come up with those numbers. Still offer, right? Like, you still want to make the offer, because at the end of the day, you never know the situation, right? You put the time and effort and energy to do all of that, you might as well put the offer in. Don't be scared, guys. Listen, if you're talking to an investor, I certainly wouldn't be scared, because guess what? They're in the same business as you to make a deal, right? You're not going to offend an investor. And if you do, hey, this is just what the game is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did that. I went out, take a look at it. I'm probably going to put it on, not even probably, I am going to put an offer in on that property. Might as well. So again, Keneal. Hey, what's going on, Keneal? Ashton, what's up? Sabrina, what's going on? Sabrina, it's been a minute. Sabrina's actually kicking ass out here. Her and her husband in Baltimore, they do a bunch of flips. And I remember when Sabrina and her husband were just starting some years ago. They are doing pretty well. So shout out to Sabrina. You guys go follow Sabrina and her husband Carlos. They do pretty good work. They're all over Facebook. I don't know about Instagram. I haven't seen you guys on Instagram. But they're really good on Facebook, if you guys don't know. And Sabrina is really good. So shout out Sabrina. Shout out to Carlos. Kenneth Will, what's going on, baby? How you doing, man? Appreciate you popping in here. Ashton says, what up, man? Hey, hello. Appreciate you guys for showing up. Guys, if you don't know, we are in week 58. 58 weeks of doing this each and every single week. Every Thursday. It is pouring down raining right now. Guys, look at this. It is pouring down raining. Yeah, anyway. So, glad I went and did that property inspection earlier. So, anyway, outside of that, yes, week 58. Guys, if you don't know, this is real estate Q&A sessions. You can ask me anything, everything real estate related in the comment section below right there, and or where the question mark is. I don't care if you're trying to buy your first house, your 10th house, flip, wholesale, contracting. I've pretty much done it all. Remember, the disclaimer, as always, is I'm not a guru. I just know more than the average Joe. I'm not selling any products here. Not asking you guys to come out of pocket. None of that stuff. It's just, this is how I give back. This is how I share my time by doing this. And for my loyal people that have showed up each and every week, you guys already know what it is. So please feel free to drop a question in the comment section, and or if you just want to kick it, chat, whatever, in the comment section below, and or where the question mark is. Housekeeping rules do apply with everything we do here, which is screenshot me, post to your story, let folks know what we're doing. Okay. Woo! All right, so my weekly, while we wait for questions to come in, you guys know I usually give a weekly update of what I got going on. Next week we're closing on another deal. Always gotta have some deals in the pipeline. Next week I will be closing on another property, and this one was it wasn't hard to consider, but sizable deal. it can go either both way. Great property or great value. And here's the crazy thing about it. This rain is going crazy. Here's the crazy thing about it. And I want you guys to... Damn. This is what I want you guys to think about next time you're walking through. Just because you see... just because, let's say we're talking about a beat up property rundown, just because you see a lot of trash in the property doesn't mean the house needs $100,000 worth of work. You have to imagine and see that property. Let's say it's in the same condition it's in without all the trash. Trash scares new investors, right? When you add the components of the walls and all this other stuff looking jacked up, that's one thing. But when you see trash scattered all around the floor and everything, and clothes, and let's say it looks like, oh my gosh, it's locks. They're sticking. You guys gonna get whatever locks I give you today, because clearly. But anyway, this is gonna bother me all show. This is gonna bother me. But oh my gosh. Okay, whatever. Y'all go get whatever locks. I got it. Dang. But anyway, trash is trash. Trash can be cleared out in half a day, couple hours, right? So don't get scared when you guys see trash. I see people overdo their renovation costs and buy another $10,000 when they see a bunch of trash, and it's not the case, right? There's been a lot of my last 3 deals when I walked into them the first time have been full of trash, clothes, dressers, and all that kind of stuff. You gotta look past that, right? You gotta look past, okay, if I was to clean all this crap up off the floor, what is the house gonna look like then? And you'll come to find that a lot of times it's not as bad as you thought it was. Once the house gets cleaned up and you can actually see, good. I'm going to be posting a video, and the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I'm going to post a video. I know you guys saw the recent video with me, in that one house, right? But I have another rental that I finished rehabbing, and I want you guys to see the before and after. And when I got in there, it was disgusting. But imagining the house without all that crap, guess what? It looked a lot. I literally was like, I don't have to spend that much because it's not that bad. So, yes. Ashley says, what's the best way to buy a second property without paying 20%? Polo's in here too as well. Hey, shout out my line brothers. I got 3 out of 11 up in here. Well, really 4, because I am part of the line too. So 4 out of 11. Where the rest of the bros at? Shout out to Polo for popping in here. But yeah, Ashley says, what's the best way to buy a second property without paying 20%? You guys know what I'm about to say, and I hope that you already know what I do. What I do is I use hard money. I use hard money. And a second property, I don't know. How'd you buy your first property, Ashton, by chance? Did you use an FHA loan? Did you use a conventional? What did you do? And this is common because when you talk about an investment property, if you're using a conventional product, most banks are going to tell you, not even most, the standard is 20%. If you utter second property, well, not second property, because there's products out there where you don't spend 20% if it's like considered a second home. But another day. But yeah, so FHA. Okay, so yeah. If you did FHA or your first one and you're looking to buy a second property, you're going to see 20% across the board for all conventional products. Especially if you tell them it is an investment property. Yeah, you're going to pay that 20%. But hard money is a great option. Oh, what the interest rates, XYZ, oh, la, 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 la. Yes, you're going to have to pay to play, right? And if you're looking at funding a deal, and you're looking at doing something, if you're looking at funding a deal and scaling at a faster rate than a conventional product, then yeah, you say, we never tell them. Yeah, you never tell them. I'm not even gonna. Anyway, I would use hard money, man. I would use hard money, and people, the common thing, oh well, hard money's got these high interest. Yeah, it does. But it's fast, easy, cash. Not easy, but it's the access that you're paying for. You're paying a premium for access to capital. And I can tell you that my lender, I come to the table with closing costs. I don't come to the table with anything else. That's what I got going on with me and my lender. Now, as a first-time user of hard money, you're going to probably pay something down if you don't have a relationship with that lender, which is fine. You pay to play, right? It's a relationship building type lending situation when you're dealing with hard money lenders. So you might not put 20% down. You might have to put 15. You might have to put 10, or you might have to put nothing down. I come to the closing table with nothing but closing costs, no down payments, nothing, just closing costs. So that is something that you should explore. If you start talking to hard money lenders, the first thing they will tell you is, what am I coming out of pocket for during a transaction? More than likely, they're going to tell you, well, your interest rate is going to start here. It's going to be on the higher end because you're new. Your interest is going to be maybe 12%. You're going to pay points, 1 point, 2 point. And you might have to pay 15 to 20% down. Now, again, you ask me, what way can I come into the game without putting 20% down? This might happen the first time, the first deal. It might, or it might not. It depends on how strict that lender is on what they require from you, right? But again, I have never come to the closing table with an actual deposit like 20% down or any of that stuff. So again, that's just me. It's strictly specific to whatever lender you're using, or whatever lender, whatever their criteria is. Because I tell you guys 100 times, I've said it over and over again, hard money lenders are not banks. They don't have they have regulations and stuff like that, but they can lend on who they want to lend to. Banks, you got to fit within a box, and if you don't fit within that box criteria wise, you're just not getting a loan. Hard money lending is a little bit different. Like, if I believe in you, Ashton, and I'll lend you the money. Now, I'll break your legs if you don't have my money back. But that's kind of how that goes. So you asked me, I told you. I hope that is a great answer for you. Keneal says, what about using the secondary home option? I think Navy Federal will pay 95 to 90%. Yes, that is an option. But again, you're saying if it's a secondary home. Sorry, guys, I got a call. But yeah, if it's a secondary home, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to say that you're going to be living there at some point. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You don't want to put flips in your own personal name. You can do what you want to do. But I would not put a flip in my personal name. I will not buy it as Ashton Souls. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I would do. Yes, you can go buy a secondary home, but when you buy it as a secondary home, guess what you have to buy it under? Your personal name. You can't buy it under an LLC. And you're certainly not you can't buy it as an LLC. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? And most lenders, guess what? I mean, not lenders, but yeah, you're not going to be able to buy that house under an LLC because it clearly shows, hey, you said this is a second home. You're supposed to be living here, not this LLC that's going to be owning this. You know what I'm saying? So that should give you an indication. But yeah, if you're looking at buying a secondary home, and it's legit going to be a secondary home, yeah, Navy Federal is great. We've used Navy Federal before too, and we've done some finessing. You know what I'm saying? With that secondary home option thing, but. Yeah, it works. If you can get good rates on buying a secondary home, and let's say you plan on at least living there and renovating it over some time and then converting it to an investment property or something like that, you can. But a lot of these places will require you to reside in the property for a certain amount of time. FHA, you already know, is 1 year. When you're buying it a conventional and you're paying that 20% down, they don't really care whether. Gosh, all these pauses. Anyway, they don't care what you do. Brooklynique. How you doing? Brooklynique, what's going on? Rob, what's going on? That's my brother. My man, what's going on, Rob? Appreciate you for popping in here. As always, baby, it's love, man. Don Soul says, what's the best way to find contractors? I got you. Tommy Pickles, what's going on? Guys, if this is your first time here, this is Real Estate Q&A Sessions week 58 of doing this each and every Thursday for the last 58 weeks. Check the catalog. Check it. I ain't playing with you guys. You guys already know what it is. I come on here to show love, show value, and this is how I give my time. So, what did I say last week? If you guys weren't here last week and you missed the message, here's the message. Tell your friends to show. If your friends have real estate questions and they're telling you, they're asking you to ask me a question through you, just tell them, come to the show at 12 o'clock and ask your questions. There's no need to be scared. There's no need to be shy. People, you can come in here and ask whatever you want. I don't really care, right? I don't really care, right? Don't be scary. Don't be scary. Tell your friends, show up to the show. Everybody knows Rashaad got a show at 12 o'clock on Thursdays, or he has a show at on Thursdays. Go follow, hit the notification button. I will be doing some type of show on Thursdays. So, again, this is for the folks that have people that, you know, or even yourself. Just show up. It's okay. You can ask questions here. What I'm not going to do is spend hours on the phone like I was and helping people. I'm just not going to do that. It takes a lot of time. So anyway, that's for the new folks. Guys, come here, ask me anything, everything real estate related. Disclaimer, I am not a guru. I just know more than the average Joe. That's it. So you can come on here, show love, show out. We got some of the same folks in here that pop up each and every week for the past 58 weeks, and they show love. Disclaimer, not a disclaimer, but housekeeping rules, as always, screenshot, post to the story, let folks know what we're doing. This is a free service. I look at it as a service. I am helping you guys in the best way I can, right? Passing off the information that I know, my experience. And I have a lot of experience in a short amount of time. A lot. I don't think you guys want to learn some of the things that I've learned at the cost that it's cost. Well, at the cost that it costs. I don't know if that sounded right. But anyway, so Ashton says, what's the best way to find contractors? A couple different ways, right? Actually, you can find contractors very easy. The question is how you find good contractors. That's the real question. Good help. Here's what I'm going to say to that. Good help is hard to find. And sometimes good help has to be molded. Woo! Good help is hard to find, but sometimes good help has to be molded and shaped into good help. You, as a leader, as somebody paying for a service, if you want good contractors, guess what? Sometimes you have to have patience. Sometimes you have to mold and get folks into the right mindset of how you want them to be. Not every contractor I'm saying you got to do this with, because they're going to. There's a lot of them that are not going to be worth your time. But I have 4 simple principles. 4. And I've applied this to my home improvement business. I've applied this to, how I deal with my contractors that work for me. Not for me, but work with me in my home improvement business, and also work with me on my own projects. 4 things, and I've told you guys this before, right? And I think that all four are unrealistic to ask of a potential contractor when you're looking at who they are, how they do things, right? But there's a couple critical things in here that are important. So if you find somebody, first thing is accountable. Are you accountable? Do you do what you say you're going to do, right? If we're meeting for the first time and I'm somewhat about to show you this job as an interview, whenever you show a contractor a job, that's like the interview. You know what I'm saying? And so if you say, hey, look, I got this I want to do, and they say, okay, I need to come out and look at it. You say, okay, what time? They say, Monday at 4 o'clock, right? That is not the day the guy's going to start working. That's the day you're going to show him the job, and that's like an interview. So if you guys agree to showing up at 4 o'clock, and he shows up at 4:05 or 4:10, or doesn't show up at all, or you had to call him to ask, hey, where are you at? Oh, I'm on the way. And it's already past 4 o'clock. Or if you had to ask where he was at, and he just said, hey, yeah, I got caught up, I have to do something. This is after 4 o'clock. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's not being accountable. Don't call me after the time that we were supposed to meet to tell me either 1, you're late, or 2, you're not showing up. I had to call you. I had to make the effort to get in contact with you after you committed to doing something. That's accountability. Do you do what you say you're going to do? That's number 1. Number 2, do you show up? Show up. Showing up is half the battle, right? Showing up. Do you show up? Number 3, pricing. Do you have good pricing? I'm not saying the cheapest of the cheap, and I'm not talking about the most expensive of the most expensive, but do you have decent pricing, right? 4, how's your workmanship? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it even keel in the middle? And so I feel like not your perfect contractor is going to be able to do all 4, have all 4 qualities. Realistically, I only want the first 2. I really only want the first 2. The first 2 is, are you accountable, and do you show up? Right? Do you show up for work? Those are non-negotiables, right? If I've ever not worked with people, it's because not worked with people, or if I've stopped working with contractors, it's because of either the first 2. Right? These are non-negotiables. The other 2 I can negotiate. I can negotiate price, and I can tolerate okay workmanship, you know what I'm saying, to a degree. Sometimes you need, and that comes with coaching. You can coach people to have better quality work. Like, that's, hey, your workmanship's bad here. It's not the actual conversation, because I wouldn't want you to go up to one of your contractors and say, hey, your workmanship's bad. But you can get people to fix things. And that's why I say, you know, there's a level of patience with the workmanship thing if they're not like the A1. And of course, you guys aren't going to be hiring A+ contractors anyway, unless you're paying a bunch of money. Your choice. But anyway, so you can work with workmanship. You can work with pricing. The first 2 you can't really work with. So when you're interviewing guys and you're looking for contractors, keep in mind those 4 things, right? And if they have 2, that's great. If they only have 2 of the 4 things, great. I can work with you, right? If you have, 3, 4, whatever the case may be, are you accountable? Do you show up? Do you do what you say you're going to do, and do you show up for work? Because if you don't show up for work, I can't do anything with you. You're not here. You're not present. It's just like football. They say the best availability is being the best. I forgot what it was, but anyway, it basically emphasized being on the field, right? If you're hurt all the time, I don't care how great of a Hall of Fame player you are, you're not available. Same with contractors. I don't care how great your work is, but if you're not available, what good does that do me? I don't care how great your pricing is. If you're not accountable, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. Okay, let me get a charger because I only got 5%. But that's my whole point. You asked me how to find contractors. This is what you need to be looking for when it's time to find contractors. Hold on, guys. There we go. Yeah, this is what you need to be looking for, those 4 qualities when you're potentially looking at hiring contractors. The 4 qualities I look for and how I run my business, how I run my home improvement business is, are you accountable? Being accountable, showing up, decent pricing, and workmanship. Those 4 things, I have guys that I've been working for a while. They all understand that, and it works out great. Now, there's some coaching involved, right? As an investor or as somebody that's looking to hire work, guess what? I told you guys at the beginning of the conversation, it takes some level of coaching too, right? You want to create A+ contractors. Most A+ contractors, guess what they're doing? They're working for guys that are keeping them busy 24/7 all day. And so you might find yourself in the very beginning having to work, having to mold guys. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I have 3 crews right now. Some of these guys I've been working with for, a year or 2 years. Some guys I've been working with for a couple months, right? But guess what? I'm okay with that because I'm over here. Please don't mind me. I'm over here. I'm trying to get this thing together and charge my phone at the same time. Oh my gosh. There we go. There we go. So yeah, so that's how you can vet contractors. Finding them, you can find them anywhere, Ashton. They're pretty much everywhere. You got the Home Depot parking lots all the way to the guys that drive around with the wrap trucks and say we do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. You can also, I'm not saying you can go to Home Depot or not go to Home Depot. That's completely on your choice. But if you go to Home Depot and hire a guy off the street from Home Depot, manage your expectations is all I'm going to say. Craigslist, same thing. I've hired guys, in the very beginning, I was hiring guys off Craigslist, and it's hit or miss. It is extremely hit or miss, and mostly in the miss part. Another place you can go, Thumbtack. Thumbtack's great because it does. There is a level of vetting there that in order to offer your services on Thumbtack, they do a bit of screening before you can advertise your services. So Thumbtack's pretty good. Facebook Marketplace, not Marketplace, but any of your Facebook real estate groups, they're great to ask for help for. While also riding around job sites, guys, I like to look at myself as the pull-up king because that's what I do. I literally pull up on job sites. If I see a project working and I see guys outside, I'm usually hitting a U-turn and I'm pulling up on them saying, hey, what do you guys do? What do you guys specialize in? And I'm getting contact information, right? I have a house that's right across from me that's being renovated. Best believe some of those crews that were working in there for the past 3 months, I have their phone numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because you always need a Rolodex of guys. Like, that's just what it is. Guys, they come in and then they go. They come in and they go. Even GCs. Most you guys might not be in a position to hire subs and empower them to be GCs and manage at that level. But if you're going to hire GCs to manage your whole project, sometimes you have to vet them too. Just because they're taking care of the subs and just because they're managing the rehab doesn't mean that they're going to be good at it, right? And so there is still some responsibility on your part to do proper vetting when hiring anybody. That's just the nature of the beast. There's GCs that fumble the bag. There's GCs that literally, they fumble. But then there's also great GCs. And if you're in a position where you're not able to go out and do X, Y, Z, look into the GC space. Recommendations are always great. And another reason I like pulling up on guys is because I can sit right there and look at their work. When I pulled up, and I'm sitting there chit-chatting or whatever, do I see guys on their phone? Do I see guys just sitting around, whatever? Or are guys working? I can look directly at the work. Oh, that looks great. That doesn't really look great. You know what I'm saying? So certain things, pretty much where you can go find a contractor. They're everywhere, Ash. And I know I was on that topic for a very long time, but I had to get that out my chest. Thank you guys for being patient. Brent, what's going on? Ashley says the best ability is availability. Yes, that was the saying that I was trying to say. I did not remember at the time, but you guys get what I'm saying. Richard, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you popping in here. Torn, what's up? Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for showing up. As always, guys, this is week 58 of Real Estate Q&A sessions. Again, doing this each and every week for a year strong. And guess what? We don't have to have big numbers. We don't have to have small numbers. All we need to do is change one person's life or decision-making as they enter into the real estate space 1 week at a time. Look at Sneaker Fiend. Look at AJ No Free. They out there living their best life, and I'm so glad I was able to help contribute to that in the capacity that I do. As always, it's much appreciated when you guys show up here because you guys be doing a whole bunch of different stuff, right? If this is your first time here, you guys already know. You can ask me anything, everything real estate related. Disclaimer, I am not a guru. I just know more than the average Joe. Very simple. And as of course you can, in order to show love, I'm not asking you guys to pay for nothing. You ain't got to do none of that stuff. Just screenshot me, post it to your story, let folks know what we're doing each and every week. Because when you do that and you let other folks know what we do, they come in, they ask questions that you might not have thought to ask, and therefore you get value, right? So again, screenshot, post to your story, let folks know what we're doing. Let's see. Rich says, "What's good? Love the consistency." Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you, man. If you guys aren't following Richard, please follow Richard. That's another one of my real estate brothers. Down there in it. Well, I don't even know. Rich be everywhere. So, Rich got properties in a bunch of different cities. So, who knows where Richard's at right now? But go follow him, because man's got projects everywhere. Ashton says, "Yo, oh no, this is Keneal. If anyone is doing short-term rentals or Airbnb, then see if your city is having city regulation meetings to be in the know of the possible regulations that may be coming down the pipeline." So Keneal brought this up last week, and I think it'll be a great. You know what? I think that would be a great conversation to bring up. For somebody that actually does short-term rentals, and I know Richard does Airbnbs. I don't know if we can three-way on here, but yeah, Keneal brought up last week, and this is good stuff because I know Keneal, we've had extensive talks offline about like the position you're in with the work you're doing and being able to see directly what these cities, like your city, is doing in regards to Airbnbs and some of the regulations they have coming. And I don't delve into the Airbnb space, but based off what you're telling me, I'm not going to say I'm going to stay out of it, but it does make you do a little bit more due diligence in regards to how your city views short-term rentals and what kind of actions or regulations they want to put in place to either control Airbnb or short-term rentals or whatever the case may be. But I know here in Baltimore, when the Airbnb craze actually started, folks were buying up properties just to Airbnb, but it's different than like a rental where you have to register the property, where it's, hey, you're basically telling the city, this is a rental property, I am renting it out legally, and I am held to a certain standard in order to even do this. So I have my rental license, I have my rental registration. What people were doing were buying these properties and using them as Airbnbs, which are short-term rentals, still a rental property, but they weren't required or it hadn't caught up yet that they had to actually have these properties in a specific standard to make them legal rental properties, because they are just short-term, long-term, they're still rentals at the end of the day. And so yeah, people were buying these properties and doing whatever, having whatever condition, making money off Airbnb. And the city said, no, no. All properties that are listed as short-term rentals and or long-term rentals have to get licensed via the city, inspections, and you have to pay a hotel tax as well. So it's the same thing. You can't come out here and just buy properties and Airbnb them without the city knowing what you're doing. Some cities are a little bit more stricter than others. I'm not in that space. I cannot tell you. But I do know that people are still out here buying properties for Airbnb purposes. And quite frankly, it's a lot of people making a lot of money doing it too. I've stopped kind of going on Clubhouse, but I went on like 2 days ago, and people are still making money hand over fist. Ashley says it's just licensing and rules. I mean, people work around the rules all the time, and when you start looking at some of the Airbnb people that run Airbnbs at like an actual company level, where it's like they actually have multiple properties and things like that, and a full service, like there's guys that have this thing like literally ironed out the way it's supposed to be ironed out, and they're making their money. Licensing and rules, they're gonna find a way to get around it or comply in whatever capacity they can. I don't see short-term rentals going away. I see it still increasing. Now there was a big stink on Twitter like a couple weeks ago where people were exposing people were exposing the pricing of Airbnb, XYZ, and folks wanted to start going back to the hotel movement. I don't think that's going to happen. Airbnb is convenient for a lot of people. There's folks that have preferences. You can either like Airbnb or not. But for what it's doing for the community, That is another discussion Keneal and I have had as well. More than that, Keneal says it's discriminatory and foul. These regulations come on to play when HOAs try to safeguard their community using taxpayer money. Use your HOA money. Let me tell you something. Keneal is passionate about this, so here's what I'm going to do. Pull up on me, brother. I think I just sent you an invite. Yeah, if you got time, Keneal, come on, man. Come on. Oh, declined. He declined. Probably at work. But anyway, yeah, I mean, discriminatory and foul. So what are some of the regulations that you've seen? We spoke about this offline. Let us know some of the regulations that you've seen in your neighborhoods or in your area when it comes to short-term rentals and some of the stuff that they're trying to do. Keneal says also, and those regulations won't be equally enforced in disenfranchised communities until they are gentrified. Ashley says, or get a property with no HOA. That is the case. Here in Baltimore, there's not a lot of homeowner associations, at least in the areas where I buy properties. So you're pretty much free to do whatever you have to do. Now, there are certain HOAs out here that are very strict that are just not going to allow you to do too much of anything. But where I invest in most of the city, there's not too many HOAs. Ashton, have you seen any, the biggest one is the HOA, just say no to short-term rentals. Ashton, have you seen any regulations or rules or anything like that? In fact, Ashton, you ain't even came on the show yet, bro. I'm sorry, not you, Keneal. Not you. Ashton ain't came on the show yet. And I know Ashton does business down there in Atlanta. Also has a short-term rental business. So it'd be very interesting to see how he's got his thing going on in Atlanta. Again, guys, I don't delve into the short-term rental space. Oh, that's Keneal. What's going on, brother?
It was good, bro. My bad. I was working on some work. But the biggest issue with that is that well, specifically here in Baton Rouge, that certain communities, that affluent communities, are trying to protect or safeguard their community, their specific community, where those regulations, or what sitting in the meeting, there's no representation. I'm like one of 3 black people there, the youngest black person there, and then you have community.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Provide context for the folks that's watching. What are you? What exactly are you doing, and where are you working at right now to where you're able to see what you're seeing? For context purposes, so people know.
All right. So I'm doing. I'm a doctoral student at LSU. I'm on this grant project looking at the shared economy and shared economy spaces and discriminatory practices within the shared economy, and Airbnbs, short-term rentals. Those are within this shared economy, right? But then again, there are different cities, municipalities that are developing regulations because it hasn't been regulated. They're still trying to figure out how to regulate Airbnbs because, of course, people want to maintain their home value, right? Which is true, which is good. However, the issue, which makes sense to me, right? But I started to see a bigger issue when you go to these meetings and, when they come up with these different policies and regulations, when there's no representation in the room and the people that are pushing for the regulations to happen are the main benefactors. So, or people trying to protect or safeguard their communities, which are affluent communities that have HOAs. Some of these people that are in these meetings are renters. They're not even homeowners, right? So basically, to me, it seems as if I just really take an issue with that because these HOAs, oftentimes, we last week on this, and even within the news and other media outlets, we see that there are discriminatory practices that happen in the housing market. Whether you're whether you're a minority or person of LGBT or whatever. You're Ashton, what up, man?
What's going on? What's going on, guys?
Hey.
But your your home appraisals or your home is devalued, right? or some people may not want to sell to you, or you may be discriminated against, or may not be provided a mortgage loan. But so when it comes down to these regulations coming down, you are pretty much trying to have, first of all, if I'm paying the HOA, I would take an issue with me paying the HOA, then having the HOA saying, you know what, I can't do my job in terms of regulating parking or regulating what's happening in this community. Well, you need to decrease or remove that HOA, right? Because you're not solving the issues that in which I'm paying the HOA, right? So now we're using taxpayer dollars. Now, if I'm a taxpaying citizen, well, as taxpaying citizens, and I'm historically discriminated against to live in these communities, I will feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm discriminated against from living in these communities, or I have issues within the community that I live. Now you are trying to safeguard or protect your space. And historically, that's an issue of, people, white people trying to protect their space. Like, that's a problem. So no, those regulations, they need to be in the best interest for all citizens. Like, those before disenfranchised communities become gentrified, nobody gives a damn. There's no community revitalization. There's nothing, right? Until the gentrification happens. When that happens, there's more the property value increases. Okay, we need to protect this property value. We wasn't thinking about protecting these the value or the quality of life or quality of the communities prior to the money not being there. But these are still people. But now you want to use taxpayer dollars to enforce city regulations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really take an issue with that, more so because, again, there's no representation in the room aside from the people who live in these affluent communities. That's a problem. I think that's a real problem.
Most definitely. And I think more than
and it's even more so of a problem that and not necessarily a problem. I just think that with so many different minorities or black peoples, getting into the space of buying homes and flipping them, or being involved in real estate, period, we need to be in those meetings. I'm not an investor as of yet, right? But I'm in this space where it's like, damn, I'm seeing this going on, but there's only 3 black people here. Where's the power? There's power in numbers. So if we're not occupying the spaces, or we're not trying to figure out what's happening or tapping into, what's happening within the community, then how can we prevent, policies and regulations that have negative implications or negative outcomes for us or people like us? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more so that if those regulations are passed, those same regulations are not going to safeguard black and brown communities. They're going to safeguard who they were meant to safeguard. They're going to, protect the home value of the people that they were meant to protect. Like, and that doesn't encompass us, because I'm sure, down the pipeline, the community, different communities, these regulations happen when Airbnb start popping up. It's really not going to happen until, those people who are, of affluent status starts to come over and want to safeguard their community. And that's when those regulations will be enforced equally. It's just like equity. There won't be any equity with these policies. And that's the biggest problem. So it's more so than just, we'll just buy a home without HOA. Well, you could do that, but still the regulations are going to protect who they're meant to protect. Or you can do that, but then as a taxpayer citizen, if I'm not even allowed or there are barriers to prevent me from living in those communities, why would I want my tax dollars to protect that? That's a problem.
So I think my situation here in Atlanta is a little bit different, because it is traditionally, a black city. A lot of black areas, especially the areas that are kind of booming for real estate right now, are traditionally in black neighborhoods. But you do see, white people coming in, buying houses in the hood, places they wouldn't have, bought houses 5-10 years ago. But I think what you're talking about is an issue with the overall real estate game, not necessarily just with Airbnb, but of course it's trickling down to that. But it's overall, you know, us not being able to buy in certain areas, us not being able to get approved for certain loans. I heard you put up something the other week, Rashaad, where you're talking about your valuation of your house was down just because it was in a black area, or they saw that, you know, it was a black owner. So I think the biggest thing is, you know, the dissemination of information. Like, we have to have the knowledge to be able to be in these meetings, to get the right licensing, because, you know, with Airbnb, I don't see these short-term rental license and stuff like that. I don't see it going away, because there were a lot of people that were renting out places that were not up to par, or just letting people kind of do whatever in them. So I think that in a way the regulations are needed, but like you said, we have to have representation in those rooms to make sure we're aware of the regulations and they're not, you know, ostracizing black people out of these spaces. So I mean, we just have to continue to spread the knowledge and make sure we're at the forefront of these decisions.
Agreed. Representation is important. And I was just having
Yeah,
this.
that.
Go ahead,
My
bro.
bad. That shit is trash, man. But it's another meeting. I have to go to another meeting towards the end of the month. But it's trash, dog. Like um, the regulations. I'm not totally against the regulations. I think the regulations are needed. However, they have to be equally enforced, and they're not going to be equally enforced. And it sucks because, again, like what Rashaad mentioned last week, he did a home appraisal. Right, the home appraisal wasn't up to par. He felt discriminated against. Right, so if I don't know, just certain issues, man. Like it's just not. It's unfair. You know that persons or people are discriminated against to purchase homes or buy homes, or the homes are being devalued. But then they're creating policies to protect the home value of those said persons. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not equally. It'll never be equally enforced, because one, we don't occupy those spaces, or we're not advocating in those meetings, or we're not in those spaces to advocate. And then these policies are being enforced, and then we are not in the positions to ensure that regulations are equally enforced, or to say, hey, you know what, we're safeguarding this community, or we're bringing value or protecting the value of this community. But what about these disenfranchised communities where there is uh, opportunity, but people aren't able to tap into certain resources? And even still, like with these policies and these, I think one of the policies or regulations that they're trying to enforce is that, you know, if you're going to be a short-term rental, if you're going to be a homeowner that short-term rents your home, or Airbnb your home, then you have to go and get a certification. You have to go do something and go get a certification. But then you have older adults, or older or elderly people, or just elderly people in general, who may say, hey, you know what, I don't know how to work the internet. I'm just barely figuring this thing out. So now you want me to go spend money, you know, where I'm using my home to help, like, you know, compensate, you know, my own income. You know what I'm saying? Now you want me to go spend more money or tap into some resources that aren't provided to me, that I have no access to come up with this certification. So it's like, damn, like there's more barriers for people, you know, who actually using it to live. You know what I'm saying? Like daily spending, or whatever. Now I have to go through the more additional loops and barriers to try to figure this thing out. And that's historically an issue. Like, that's always been an issue. So I don't know. I think it's a problem with Airbnb. Yeah, I think that, not Airbnb in general, just like short-term rentals, and just the way that the regulations are starting to be developed, especially when we aren't in the room to say, nah, hell nah, we need to think about this. Because when this happens, what about these people? You know, are we considering this? Are we considering, you know, how this is going to have a negative impact on this community? Yeah, we're safeguarding this one specific community. This one specific HOA or neighborhood association is causing all the fuss and ruckus. But what about everyone else? How is it going to impact everyone else, and what are the thoughts and opinions of everyone else within the city, opposed to just this one group, this one affluent, you know,
I,
group
I
of
think
people?
the thing about it is there's going to be a bottom line once they start implementing these regulations. It's going to be some people who just for whatever reason can't keep up. I mean, the world is kind of survival of the fittest, so you have to operate at a certain level to be able to operate. You know, you're going to have to get these licenses and things like that. I think the where people in the know can help out is disseminating the information as far as the meetings, the regulations. I know I'm in a couple of real estate investment Facebook groups, Airbnb, VRBO Facebook groups, and we kind of disseminate a lot of information on there about licensing, about meetings and stuff like that. So the best thing we can do is put people in the know, and give them resources to be able to, take advantage of these grants, these rehab grants, here in the city of Atlanta, these, FHA or the construction loan, I forget what it's called, the construction loan, financing, just different resources that they can use to put themselves kind of on an equal playing field. But like I said, it's definitely going to require you to be some level of proficient in, getting your stuff together. Yeah, and that was the issue with Airbnb in the first place. Anybody can do it. I think I read an article about somebody basically putting a trap house on Airbnb. Like these people came in and it was wild. So I mean, you do need some type of regulation. So I don't think that we can just say, we don't want it to be regulated at all, because that's going to happen regardless. But being able to give people the information to put themselves in the best position to make their rental license and to uphold the rules, and like you said, to be in the room to make those rules and make those decisions, I think are going to be the two biggest keys for us.
I agree with both of y'all points. And the one thing that you guys both said was disseminating that information. How many people that's on here right now? How many of you guys logged on here and listened to what was talked about and thought to yourself, where else have I heard this kind of conversation before, or where else am I, getting this information from? And it's not many places where you're going to be able to come on somewhere and listen to this kind of dialogue, and that's really kind of like where it starts. And so, this is powerful in itself. And the other thing that I like to mention, because I did have an appraisal last week that was pretty trash, right? And I was talking to my father about it, and it's trash to me because, for the obvious, I didn't get the value, or no, I am going to get the value. Let's just put that in words. There is a dispute out. It was my third time in a row having a low appraisal. But regardless, what I'm saying is it affects me obviously because I'm starting to see a trend, and I believe I know what that trend is, my skin. But the other part is that, and the reason why I'm not worried is because I have a skill set, I have access to resources, I can pull information and dispute and state my claim and be able to say, look, boom, 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 and make people look crazy and stupid because they don't know that I do this for a living. Whereas there's a lot of black and brown people that don't have access to that information, get these appraisals, and then they anticipate they're going to get this, and they really get that, and that's the end all be all. That's it. They just take it, and they're extremely low. And sometimes they're getting these appraisals for refinances where they can try to pull money out of their houses to leverage and take care of a family emergency or whatever the case may be. And when they get these appraisers that come in and half slap ass comps, the lowest of the low, and don't even sit there and take the time to, really give this person the true value of their home, and they give it to them, and this person doesn't have access to the MLS or doesn't have access to, just the necessary things to be able to state a case or defend your cases why your house is this, they get stuck with those low appraisals, and ultimately that happens every single day. Every single day. Think about how many black people get these appraisals and they get undervalued. It happens every day, right? I'm a different situation. But the point I'm trying to make is that, without the lack of access to resources, it's going to continue to happen. And I was talking to Nesting Wisely, Deontay, about this in person, we got to be in those positions. And just like Keneal said, we got to be in those meetings. But we also have to be in those positions where we can dictate X, Y, and or Z. So I've talked about this before, side hustles in real estate. You guys can go become appraisers, right? We need to see more black and brown people as appraisers, because I've had a number of appraisals. They're all white. It's what it is, right? That is a way to change your community. I'm not saying you're going to go in favor communities, but if people have the ability to go and create that change, and so we can go be appraisers, we can go be property inspectors. You know what I'm saying? We also have to go to these zoning hearing meetings, which aren't really the most pub thing out there. Like, oh yeah, zoning meetings. People don't talk about that stuff, but they happen. They happen often. And you want to know why a community only has churches and liquor stores and no other resources. It's zoning. You know what I'm saying? When they regulate a community to be zoned a specific way, and you can't put multi-commercial spaces in there. You can't put these type of restaurants or eatery spaces in these neighborhoods. That's why, right? Zoning. And once that zoning designation is tagged to that neighborhood, that's it. That means basically, if I want to come in and put a wellness center or whatever the case may be, that's going to have X, Y, or Z in it, and it's going to really help the community. I can't do that because it doesn't fall within the criteria that this neighborhood is zoned for. So I have to go put my resources else. I have to go take that vision elsewhere. And so these zoning meetings, we should be attending. I'll keep it funky. I can do better with going to more zoning meetings. You know what I'm saying? I don't never come up here and cap, but I will tell you that that's something I can do more of. And I know folks will only come into zoning meetings, not zoning meetings, but go to these community meetings when they only want to build some shit. You know what I'm saying? You only go when you only want to build something and get community approval. So it's a 360 approach. I think like what you guys are saying it is more of showing up and also putting and deciding on how do I want to impact this particular community, or how do I want to create that change. And you don't have to dedicate your whole life to be in a position where you can be an appraiser or an inspector or whatever the case may be, or somebody goes to these meetings. You can literally do this on the weekends, right? You can do it as a side hustle, right? People talk about trying to make money all the time and get into real estate. Well, guess what? It's twofold. If you go be a property appraiser, if you go and take the 60-hour course and spend a couple $100 and become an appraiser, you not only create another stream of income, but you are an appraiser making change, right? And you're also, if you want to become an investor, you're also learning how to value homes. What do you do as an investor? You have to value homes. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting education on top of making money, on top of creating change. That whenever people get these appraisals, guess what? Most of them walk in, they don't look like us. So again, same with property inspectors. You can do a lot of different things when you take the time to actually, become the change. Like, I am a contractor now. You know what I'm saying? I remember what it was like when I wasn't a contractor, and it's because I know how contractors treat people. I know how people treat contractors, and I wanted to change that narrative. And so I get a lot of good business just based on the fact of how I treat people. And when I walk into a space and people look at me and how young I look and the way I look, but then they see the service that I provide, a whole different ballgame. You know what I'm saying? So again, taking the initiative to make the change is half the battle.
Right.
I know that was a lot.
No, definitely. And I think the biggest thing that you said is just having the knowledge. I mean, without the knowledge, someone could charge you whatever or do whatever, and you don't have the knowledge to even check them on something, something simple. So I think the biggest thing that messes us up as Black people is not having the knowledge. When people talk to me about Airbnbs, they're like, man, I feel like I need to do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, man, you don't really need any of that. You just, have to know the things that you do need to be successful, the ways to, market your business, to create your business, the type of properties to go after, the biggest thing right now, everyone wants to rent a spot and then Airbnb it out. But I don't know, maybe in some other places that works, but here in Atlanta, that's not really a thing anymore, because these apartment complexes are so against that and literally have things in their contracts that, if you get caught, they'll kick you out, but still make you liable for the remainder of the lease agreement. So, my biggest thing that I tell people is to work on buying a property. It's not the sexy option. It's not the easiest option. It's going to take a little bit more time, but your investment is going to pay off so much more when you talk about the, doubling your monthly income on what you would get versus a long-term rental. When you talk about, the paid in equity that you're getting that you're not paying for, and then the increase in property value. We're all in major cities. Here in Atlanta, I mean, everywhere, I guess the property values or the housing prices are going, through the roof. So being able to get in something right now that's 200,000 and, in a year it goes to 250, 300,000, you just got that equity and you made a lot of money off of this property. So, just disseminating the information, putting people in the right positions to make a investment and not a quick buck. I think that's the problem. Everybody's interested in making a quick buck versus making an investment, which we know, investments take time.
Man, say that again, because it's real estate is not it's not the stock market, guys.
Right.
It's not the stock market. It moves at a slower pace. And ain't nothing guaranteed, for sure. Just because you buy a home doesn't mean that home is a good home, or not home, but a good investment property. But yeah, real estate takes time, man. It takes time to see change. Like development projects it can take anywhere between 24 to 48 months to get off the ground and going. You know what I'm saying? It's a slow moving thing, man. Even with zoning, you have, trying to get zoning laws changed and stuff like that. Stuff does not happen quickly. That happens after, the city will regulate a neighborhood to be zoned in a specific way. And they'll have these zoning meetings, and if enough of the community comes out and voices concern and stuff like that, you may see a designation change. Doesn't really guarantee it, but it only happens when folks consistently show up, consistently apply pressure, consistently hold city governments accountable for what they're for how they're keeping a chokehold on some of these communities and the resources they're preventing them from having. Think about it like this. Yeah, people want to go and buy up the hood and gentrify it, right? But when you start seeing the hood being gentrified and start seeing Kroger's and all those kind of things, not Kroger's, but
Publix or something.
yeah, all the classic gentrification
Arden's
campaigns.
Gardens.
Yeah, right. So guess what? All that stuff happens to come into these neighborhoods that have only had liquor stores and churches and stuff like that. All of a sudden, why'd that happen? Oh, well, yeah, that zoning designation probably changed, and it changed mainly because people, the city, or whoever's running these areas saw dollar signs. Right. It's only gonna all that stuff changes when money is affected. I mean, when money is put into play and profits are. Oh, you know what? Damn. Okay, let's go ahead and change this to this. Right, and so we can have multi-unit developments in place that have mixed use and or larger commercial buildings, or we can have eateries, commercial eateries, and things like that now put into these neighborhoods and all this other stuff because it benefits them for the dollar. Right. Where were you guys the last 20 years when this place was just going down, 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 and you guys were just squeezing the life out of it to where this place is just destroyed? It's just food deserts everywhere, and it's crazy. But now all of a sudden we want to put X, Y, Z here, and we can. That's zoning. So when I took my I had took a development course last year, and my professor, who's a developer, was letting me know, like, that is the zoning laws and regulations, zoning designations are the most important thing to a division neighborhood area because zoning regulations literally dictate what can be built there and what can't be built there.
And once you have somebody say you can't put this there, you only have this here, what are you going to do besides not know that there's zoning hearings and all this kind of stuff, and you just sit there and deal with it, and these folks have to suffer and get resources squeezed out of them for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's what you see out here in Baltimore a lot. And that's why folks, Baltimore gets a bad rep when it comes to eye appeal and all that kind of stuff in a lot of these inner city communities, because there ain't shit there besides dilapidated row homes and, the chicken coop and the liquor store and the church.
Right. So how can people, we talked a lot about those zoning meetings, like what's the best way to find out about your zoning meetings? I'm sure like a county website, or how can people like find that information?
County websites, city websites, all that kind of stuff. And then you can also call your local city representative, call their office and ask them when their next zoning meeting is. They know all of that stuff, and so those offices field calls. They're able to field those calls as well. And then another thing we can do when we talk about change, a lot of cities offer investors or people money to go into some of these communities that are qualified for grants XYZ to fix them up.
I know Atlanta's one of them.
About this, yeah, people don't know about this stuff. We have, and I missed out on it. But there's a program here in Baltimore called One House at a Time, and they basically, so what happens is houses will go through a receivership. I'm not going to go into the whole process of receivership, but basically the city takes over the property, and they're taking it over to sell it to somebody, right? And so what One House at a Time does, it's a nonprofit. They come in, they work directly with the city to where any property is going through receivership. Once it goes through the property and it gets transferred over, One House at a Time, they don't pick it up, but they offer a auction, right? They offer an auction on that property not that property, but a multitude of properties every 2 to 4 months or something like that. I think it's 2 months. And so in order to be able to buy the property, you have to have your business be free and clear of all legal crap, right? Any properties that you own in the city cannot have any violations, code violations, anything like that. Basically, and you have to be legit, right? There's a whole bunch of things, right? But their main thing is that they want to auction these properties off to people or companies that are going to actually do something with these properties. And that is their biggest thing. And so the benefit of being able to utilize a organization like this is because they offer these properties at very, very vacant properties. They're all vacant. They're offering these vacant properties at an extreme discount, right? And so that's just one resource. There's a bunch of different things, grants. There's a lot of money out there, especially like a city like Baltimore. They're looking for investors. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for people to come in and say, hey, I want to do this over here in this area. If the zoning is right, there's money allocated toward them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, city websites, all that kind of stuff. Reaching out to your local representatives, but also go search for that in Google. Google will help as well. So yeah, man. Yeah, y'all turned me up today, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for having me on. We definitely have to do a strictly Airbnb one of these soon.
Yeah, man. I think, but it goes. There's more power in what happened, today than what most folks think about, because we talk about having these conversations and information. Hell, that is the beauty of what I do every week. Information, you know what I'm saying? People have, like, unless you know, you're not going to know. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it takes us coming into these spaces, having these kind of conversations, and also being able to relinquish information as well. So, even yourself, right? Here's a challenge, right? We talk about disseminating information. I do it every week, right? If you got information to give it. You know what I'm saying? Hop on here, post whatever the heck you're gonna do. Keneal, same with you. You know what I'm saying? How can you get what your message is? How can you get your message out and it reach somebody, right? That's the whole name of the game, right? And so we can have these conversations, great, but we also have to be pulling people into these conversations as well.
Most definitely, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Ain't nothing, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
That is the power and beauty of what we do each and every week, guys. I don't know if you guys were here for the whole conversation, but it was a pretty dope conversation. That was between me, Keneal, Ash, is my two line brothers. Thank you guys for popping in here and spreading some love and showing folks why we do this each and every week, right? It doesn't just have to be me on here talking, but it can be a multitude of people on here. And I will, of course, invite you guys up. This is where you can come talk real estate free and clear. There's no pressure. You know what I'm saying? You guys can ask questions and or join. And as you see, I have the capability of getting two or three people on here at a time. Hold on. Keneal made a comment. Keneal said, Nola just had a program where you are given a vacant lot or land if you handle the maintenance or cut the grass on said. Whoa. I said, look, Deontay on it talking about where though. Where? Hey, Deontay on it. But you have to be a resident. Oh man. Might be able to finesse a little something. Mind you, I was about to disclose where my I ain't gonna say that. Kind of King, what's going on? $2, what's up? But yeah. Hey, jump right on that one. But yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do, and I appreciate that kind of conversation. Guy created loopholes. Yes, he did. Oh man, speaking of information, Deontay came in here. Actually, he called me while the show was going on, and then he I guess he remembered that I do the show every Thursday, and then hopped in here and told me about a blanket loan, which I'm gonna call my man's about right after we get out of here. So, so yeah, this is why this is all important, guys. You want to be able to network and find folks that have the same interest and do what you do, or they're doing what you would like to do, but even more so, sharing information. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do my best. I come here and I share information the best I can. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Cowboys Nation 4321, always supporting, always showing love. What's going on? But yeah, sharing information. You know, that's what it's about, right? I come in here, I share every week. You know what I'm saying? This is how I give back. This is how I share my information. Deontay, he shares information as well. I know him personally. Shoot, he didn't know about the auction that I go to every month, and I told him about it. Guess what? My man goes to the auction every month now. It saves a lot of money. He's also put me on to a couple things that I just didn't even know about as well that I utilize now in my business. So that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate anybody that can share. You know what I'm saying? Just like Keneal and Ashley came on here and shared their pieces of what they are seeing or what they're experiencing. That's the power and beauty of this. So while you guys saw the value today, that's why I ask you guys every week, screenshot this and post it to your story or your feed. I don't want to really be on your feed, but you can post it to your story and let folks know what we're doing. Bring more people in. That's how we're going to get more people in and share more value, get more things, spread across different platforms and networks so people can utilize it. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. Polished Pretty Woman says, do you have a meetup or group? This is the meetup or group. We meet every Thursday. I'm not being smart, but this is the meetup. This is the group right here. Some of these folks that show up, some of these folks that are here, they always show up each and every week. And that's nothing but love and appreciate it. And so, yeah, I've done this 58 weeks straight. So we do have kind of like a group. So if you come in here, normally you'll see some of the same folks. So this is the group. This is the meetup. We meet up every single Thursday, 12 o'clock. And if I don't do 12 o'clock, it might be a couple minutes late. But if it's drastically going to be changed, it might be later in the day, and I usually give a notice. But every single Thursday for the past 58 weeks, I have hosted this thing. So this is where you can come, ask questions, hop on the live, chop it up, talk with me. This is ask anything, everything real estate related. You can. This is what it is. Now, outside of this, most people think of groups or meetups and stuff like that. Do I have a meetup or a group on Facebook? I don't. Maybe I can create one. But if you guys know me personally, and I'm not like the greatest keeper upper of social media and being consistent outside of this. This is manageable. But yeah, maybe I should make a group on Facebook or whatever. It provide some context. What kind of group or meetup? Like a physical one? You want to see a Facebook group or something like that? That could be a good idea. You know what I'm saying? That I have a club on Clubhouse. It's like I think it's like one of the top 10. The club I own on Clubhouse, real estate Q&A, real estate investing Q&A, is like top 10 on Clubhouse in the real estate space as far as like followers. I have I think it's over 22,000 followers of that club. One of those. I don't know. But yeah. So this is a group. You can come here each and every week. If you want to see something on Facebook or something where people can post and add little things like that, do so. That'll be great. That'll be great to kind of have collaborative efforts and stuff like that. And I'm also going to start posting more things from the field. If you guys did not see my profile post earlier, it's called Postcards from the Field. Deontay, I think if you still on here, I think it'd be a great idea. So there's going to be a segment that I'm just going to have. It's called Postcards from the Field. And anytime I'm out or whatever doing something, I'll obviously be able to show you guys a video of what I'm doing. And it's good insight because I'm not one of those investors that's like, and maybe it's because of my position I'm in, but I'm actually out here. Like I am out here in the field every day in the real estate space. And so there's a lot of things and perspectives that you guys that I'm able to see that most people aren't able to see and experience. And I think it'd be really cool for you guys to see some of the stuff that I see and have me talk through it or whatever, either where I'm checking up on properties, checking up on progress or work, going and picking up materials, evaluating deals. Hey, look, that's hey, look, I don't even wish if somebody ever tried me, like I don't really be out here, like Deontay say, show my boots. I just pull up my boots. Who ain't out here? I got work jeans that have rips in them that I can't even wear anymore because I'm really be out here. So it rips in places I don't need them to be. But yeah, it Cowboys Nation says yes, show us that. Show us how you evaluate deals. That'll be great. And in fact, the video that I posted earlier today was me evaluating a deal. Well, it wasn't evaluating. I was doing a property. I was doing basically like property inspection. I was literally walking through the deal to see what I needed to do. Pointing out X, Y, Z, and show you how thorough the inspection has to be. So I can come up with my renovation numbers. But all that stuff is stuff that I think is valuable for you guys, right? I don't show a lot of my finished products. I personally don't even show a lot of my houses. And if I do, it's on my story. I've had, I like to show you guys what's going on, but sometimes I don't like people, like all of them. That's personal. Anyway, I am going to start being more conscious of showing you guys just the stuff that I go through every single day. I don't look at it as being, oh, that was big or that's important because I do it every single day. I don't even realize I do some of this stuff because it's just so natural. I just go through it. But if you break down what I do on a daily basis or what I do during most days, and Deontay knows about this, if you break that stuff down, it's very valuable to somebody who has no idea what they're doing or would like to be in a position we're in, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's very, very valuable. And so that's what I'm going to do for you guys. I said I'm going to do a lot of stuff, and I've done most of the stuff that you guys have, that I said I would do for you guys. You should live stream when you go to the auction. I guess what? Guess where me and Deontay gonna be at this weekend? I don't know if he's gonna be there. I hope he is. But guess where I'm gonna be at this weekend? Because I just remembered, Cowboys Nation. Thank you for making that. Thank you for making that comment right there. Guess where I'm gonna be at this weekend? The auction. The auction is this weekend, and I will be there. I like going to the auctions because guess what? I like deals, and even if I'm not gonna buy anything, it's just good to go. So, yeah, the auction. No, it's a materials auction. So the auction here in Baltimore, it happens every first weekend. It's the largest indoor materials auction, I think, in the country on the East Coast, or auction just in general. It is huge, and so I buy a bunch of stuff there at a deep discount. And so it happens this weekend. Guess what? I will live stream it, and while I'm there, so you guys can see what happens. I don't know if I'll buy anything, but I'll live stream it. See, it is hilarious sometimes, and it is funny to see people at these auctions. And sometimes you see the same people. Listen, when it's time to do it, when it's time for people to make deals and buy stuff for cheap, you'll see people go crazy. Like, I'll be there at the auction and people are like push each other. It'll be a spectacle. Mr. Thomas to you says that's real. I'm new to all of it, so we'll definitely tune in. Polished Pretty Woman says, where is it? It's in Baltimore. It's here in Baltimore City on Washington Boulevard. It's called Southern Sales. Guys, if you go to Google, type in Southern Sales. If you're in Baltimore, DC, Virginia, there's people that drive. It happens once a month, so there's people that literally drive into town for this auction. Go to southernsales.com and register on their email list, because you have to register in this lock is like not working today. You have to register on the website in order to get the email. You're not going to just be able to show up, guys. Listen, you're not going to just be able to show up. And here's a trick. And I know I'm only saying this. I'm only saying this because I know that some of you guys aren't even in Baltimore. But regardless, I know they send out the email. If you register for the in order to register for the auction, you have to go on their email list. When you sign up, you'll get the email. The email is blasted out, and it has the links where you can register. Day 1, day 2. The slots fill up quick for each hour. They have slots for 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, so on and so forth. They only have a certain number of people that they allow in each hour. So when you get that email, you have to register quick. I've gone to this thing enough to where, and I didn't do it last month, they send that email out on the first Monday of every month. So if the auction is going to be Saturday, they send that email out on Monday, the very first Monday of every month. And they also send that email out at 6 p.m. every first Monday of the month. So I'm telling you guys this because I want you guys to set a reminder in your phone to have your email set up. To be checking your email or be around your email or up at about 5:55. Because I noticed they send that email out every month, every Monday at 6 p.m. If you're late or if you open it the next day, you might not be able to get a time slot till Sunday. Get what I'm saying? The very first thing that goes at these auctions are cabinets. You want to be coming in at 9 o'clock when nobody else is in and you can piece your cabinets together. Anyway, I'll deeply explain the auction process. And great. Thank you, Cowboys Nation, for giving me an idea. This weekend, I will live stream it. The auction starts at 9 o'clock. I know it's a morning. It's going to be on a Saturday, but guess what? That's what you got to do sometimes as an investor. So if you want to check the live stream while I'm there, tune in at 9 o'clock. Also, I will repost it on my page so you guys can see it. I don't ever delete any content. I usually post it on my thing. So thank you, Cowboys Nation, for giving me that idea. 9 o'clock is when it starts. Next and why Deontay says, got to sign up, just can't go. Yeah, don't just show up. There's a huge security guard, not even a security guard. There's a huge state trooper there at the entrance every month with his big Glock 45 on his hip. You're not getting in unless you have registered, because they have a QR code in the email. So you have to register. Once you register, you'll get an email sent to you with a link. You click the link. There's a QR code that they scan at the door. That's how. Just letting y'all know. So I will ultimately, in turn, show you guys a little bit more of how, what I do in the field. I have another video coming out of a rental that I finished about a month ago or 2 months ago, that I want to show you guys the renovations. And I walk through kind of like what we did. And I got content. I need to do more posting, and I don't really do a lot of posting. But yeah, outside of that, guys, it's 1:30. I've been on this for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Torrance said, I want to go with you next auction. Yeah, hey, the auction's this weekend, bro. Pull up. It's a great resource for anybody that's looking to do any home renovations and or an investor doing rehabs. You can find some good stuff in there. Last month, not the auction just passed last weekend, but the month prior to that, I went and bought $1,000 water heater for $300. And it had a dent in it. I bought an industrial water heater. I bought an industrial water heater. It was $1,000 retail. I looked it up online before I bought it. Damn thing was $1,000. I got it for $300. $200 less than what a normal water heater, a normal $40 gas water heater costs at Home Depot. Actually, $250. I be at Home Depot so much. I know these damn prices is crazy. That's how I know I got a deal. But yeah, it only had a dent in it. Guess what? That damn thing was installed and in my rental property like within a couple of days, and so I saved a lot of money. So whereas I would have spent normally about $800 to $1,000 to buy the actual water heater and for one of the plumber or whoever to install it, I ended up spending about $600. $300 for the water heater and $300 for the labor. And they had expansion tanks there for like $10. That was a stupid deal. Oh man, I like it when I save money. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it when I save money. So yeah, that is why the auction is great. I also leave you guys with this. I've bought cabinets, whole cabinet sets for $175 to $200 at the auction that have been placed in my rentals, and these cabinets have been brand new. A lot of times these auctions will sell, the materials auctions will sell, not sell, but they'll have this inventory, and you might be thinking, oh, well, it's used stuff. No, it's not. A lot of this, everything that they have is new. It's just either discontinued from the manufacturer, where it's like it's out of style, as if it were a I'm having a brain fart, as if it was an inventory piece from last year that just went out of style, or they discontinued it maybe last year or something like that. So you're not getting like antique crap. You're getting new stuff. Tile, all the tile designs and stuff. Guess what? They're fairly new. They don't look old. Cabinets too. Vanities, yes. Furnaces, gas heaters, windows, doors. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Thomas, yeah, it was out of season. Basically, if you don't really care about none of that stuff, and I don't care about any of that stuff, and all the people that show up at these auctions, the hundreds of people that show up at these auctions don't care about what is considered out of season. Now, maybe as a homeowner, as a designer, and and you're conscientious to what's in and out of style. Look, I don't know nothing about the style. I know that a lot of that stuff looks good. Check my me and Deontay, we bought some nice ass tile last weekend. Nice. And guess where it's going? In my flips. And I wish somebody would say, that's how the stuff. No, it's not. Get out of here. Feed it. Beat it. Cowboys Nation said, do you install the cabinets yourself? No, I do not. I am trying to get out of doing physical work. Not saying I won't. It's hard for me to do that because I am hands-on, and anytime somebody tells me that something's going to cost X, Y, or Z, and I don't agree with it, I'm probably going to do it myself. Well, that's how I learned a lot of this stuff, is by doing this stuff myself. And and here's the key point, right? When somebody charges you something and you don't know how to do it at all, like install cabinets, somebody charges you $800 to put in cabinets, to install cabinets. If you don't know what it takes to actually hang cabinets, you might think that's a good price. But the question is, have you ever hung cabinets before? If you've hung cabinets, all right, hey, yeah, Deontay, call me after, bro. I am gonna click off of here, but yeah, call me after you call. You know my line's open. But if you've ever hung cabinets, you'll know that hanging cabinets is not really crazy labor intensive. You know that hanging cabinets might only take, a couple hours. So if you've done it, and if you've never done it, you won't know that cost is a high cost or a low cost. If you've done it, and somebody says, hey, it's going to cost me $1,000 to hang your cabinets, I'll be like, yeah, kick rocks. Justify why hanging those cabinets is going to cost $1,000. I know because I've done it myself. Well, how long is it going to take you? If you're going to take $1,000, oh, it's going to take a day and a half. Well, I've never hung. I'm not a cabinet hanger professional, and I hung 10 cabinets, the same amount of cabinets before, and it took me 4 hours. But you're a professional. It's going to take you a day and a half, and you want me to give you $1,000? Yeah, kick rocks. So that is how I got a lot of my experiences, by doing a lot of things, and so I'm able to justify what makes sense to pay and what not to pay, based on the amount of work it's going to take. You guys don't have to be like that. But anyway, that's just getting in depth and actually shows the benefit of going and doing certain things. A lot of this stuff you can learn from YouTube, watch 3 videos and go do it. I'm not saying go in there and change out your plumbing lines and pipes and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying rewire your whole house. I'm not saying put a whole HVAC system in. I'm talking about doing simple things that are hanging cabinets, changing a light switch, putting in a fan, flooring. You guys can do vinyl plank flooring. It might not look good, but you can do that. Deja Marcel says, I'm sure they have one in Miami. Definitely going to check it out. Yeah, Google materials auctions in your city, your municipality. I know that we have the auction here, but when I checked last month, there was another one going on. It was either south of here or north of here. So there's multiple materials auctions. So yeah, Cowboys Nation said, do you think your ad apartments complex to your, do I think, reword that, brother. Do you think your ad apartments complex, I don't understand that, but reword that for me and rewrite it if you can. Complex to your portfolio. So yeah, while we wait for Cowboys Nation to rewrite that, free security deposits, Baltimore announced a new eviction provision. Baltimore announced new eviction. See, oh gosh, this is what I'm talking about. Baltimore, something just popped up about security deposit. He meant you'll. Do you think you'll add apartment complex to your portfolio? I hope so. Not even hope so. I am. Crazy talk. Crazy talk, Rashaad. I am. I have a goal. It's a very simple goal, right? Here's what I want to do. I'm here for business. I'm here to take care of business, right? I have a goal. I'm not leaving until I do. I want to go spend a stint out in California for a year or two, and then I want to go back home to Florida. Florida's home. I love Florida. Yeah, but my goal before I can go and do that, and this is all God willing, right? Putting the man upstairs hands, and look, he dictates where I go. But you know what I'm saying? But I would like, uh, I'm not leaving here till I get 100 doors. Ask me, am I at 100 doors right now? No. Am I close? No. But I am on the way to getting 100 doors. And so the best way to get 100 doors faster, so I can go and me and my family move to California for a couple of years and then move back to Florida, where I ultimately want to be, is I need to add multi-units, 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 multi-units. Yes, I still buy single-family properties. The property I'm closing on next week is a single-family property. The last property I bought last month was a duplex. So more multi-units, 100 doors is the goal. And in order to do that, I would like to acquire more multi-units, more doors, which seems to be what most people are doing. I have a complex literally the next block up that went for $2.5 million. I don't have that kind of money right now. I don't. But yeah, so that's the goal. I more if I can get a complex or do a development deal, that would make me very, very happy and more aligned with it'll be more aligned with some of my real estate goals when it comes to growth. Yes, I can delve into single family space and smaller multi-unit space for as long as I live, but I will ultimately like to, of course, do bigger things. It's just the way my brain is wired. I do one thing, I get good at it. Okay, I'm gonna take it to the next level. I'm having guys. You guys have seen me on my story posting car washes. Manifestation. I've been posting car washes on my story because I love car washes and I want to own a car wash. That attracted a developer I know in California saw those posts. We've connected offline. He's in that industry, not in it, but he has experience in that industry and put me up on game. Yesterday, I see a vacant car wash, self-service car wash. I pull up to it, thought it was vacant. Really, it was people in the back painting it. It's like, what the heck? I thought it was vacant. I was gonna get it since it was vacant. I was gonna, get the address and see if I can contact the owner and stuff. Not saying I have the ability to buy a car wash right now, not yet. But come to find out, one of the guys that was there was the actual owner. Got his number. Hey, I'm interested in car washes XYZ. He calls me an hour later and says, hey, he's willing to sell this car wash. Here's the beauty in all that. Manifestation. I went from wanting a car wash, not being vocal about it, to posting pictures of car washes on my IG story, to getting connected with somebody who actually is in that space and has some car wash development projects in the works, getting the knowledge, to actually going out and but seeing a vacant car wash lot, and then meeting the owner of that vacant car wash lot that wants to sell that car wash lot. It's crazy how God works. Now, he did ask for $3 million. He did ask for $3 million, which I think is cheap when you're talking about car washes. But am I in a position to buy a car wash right now? Not right now. Maybe later. But that's my whole point. I don't even know what my point was, but I was just talking to you guys. Cowboys Nation says live stream how you get multi-units. Okay, I can do that at some point. That requires me to talk about marketing, off-market marketing. I have 3 multi-units right now. I have 2 duplexes and a triplex. The first one was bought off the MLS as my first property. And then the second 2 multi-units were purchased. No, the second one, which was the triplex, was purchased via off-market marketing, direct to seller. And then the third one that I just acquired came through a wholesaler. So yeah, couple different ways. But yeah, we'll definitely have more content about other things. And Cowboys Nation says, do you have to put down? Do you have to put down 20% for a duplex if you're buying it on the market? And it depends. No, it depends on the type of financing you're using. Right, 20% comes into play most commonly when you're talking about a conventional product, a conventional loan. 20%. I use hard money, so I don't even use bank funds. I use hard money. It's like private money. I pay a interest rate, a specific interest rate and points on that loan, and I am able to classify that loan or that loan as a cash offer or cash, and I can close up to 2 weeks. Bank loans, you got to put down that 20% for the investment property, and guess what? You have to. You might have to wait 30, 60, 90 days before you can close. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Thomas, you said you can get the doors you're wanting if you do a hotel. I would love, listen, guys, I would love to do bigger deals. We're talking about 8, 10, 12, 24, 36. I would love to do a multi-unit deal with those number of doors. Now, the cost of entry is going to be far higher, but that's what partners are for. That's what raising capital is for. If you have a good deal, the money comes. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've learned. If you have a good deal, the money comes. Don't try to figure out everything before. Get the deal, lock it up, then try to figure it out. Because the money will come if you got a good deal. And most people won't even talk to you until you have a deal actually locked up or preliminarily locked up. Cowboys Nation says, what is hard money? In the interest of time, I'll give you a quick, brief explanation because I have to use the bathroom and it's been 2 hours. But hard money is basically bridge money. It's a bridge loan. It's a short-term bridge loan. So it's meant to get you from point A to point B. It's a bridge loan. It's short-term loan at a high interest rate that will allow you faster access to capital. So let's say if you wanted to flip a house, you could use that hard money. Hard money lenders are not banks. They are individuals that have a company that either own all that money or they have a fund that they have acquired money via other investors. And so where an investor might say, hey, I'll give you $1,000, $1 million to go lend out, but I want a 4% return on that money. The hard money guy is going to be like, great. I have this company now that I have $1 million to deploy at a 4% interest rate. How am I going to make money? Okay, well, I'm going to lend this. I'm going to lend this money out, this $1 million, at 12%. So when I get my money, when I lend it out to people who are trying to flip and do rental burst strategies and stuff, when I get that money back, I pay my investor 4%, and I keep the other 7. This is why I don't do math online. You guys know what I'm saying. Lenders, hard money lenders are everywhere. They typically are for investor type properties and investor. They're meant for investors. Yes, you're paying a premium, 12%, 10%, sometimes 8% for that money, but you have access to that capital. You can go and renovate that house and have the money you put into it sent back to you. Essentially, so if you do things the right way, basically your project gets funded from front end to back end, even the renovation part. You do have to have skin in the game. You do have to have decent credit. You do have to have some money saved up. You have to put money into the deal in order to work with hard money lenders. It's called skin in the game. But hard money lenders are great if you're looking to do a flip and or burst strategy rental. So yeah, we can talk more about that. So yes, we are coming up on 2 hours. Guys, this is the longest show I have done in a while. I appreciate you guys for staying here, rocking with me for the past 2 hours. Thank you for all the questions and comments. Guys, if you haven't done so, if you got value out of this today, for some of y'all that's been here since the very beginning, I think Mr. Thomas to you has been here since the beginning of the live stream. Maybe Cowboys Nation as well. But guys, if you got any value today, we had a very good show. We had two of my line brothers come on here, and we're talking about a bunch of different things. If you got any value today, screenshot this, post it to your story, and let folks know what we're doing. Tag me so I can share it to the world. Start a YouTube channel. I did start a YouTube channel. You guys can go follow strongarm_invest. I don't have any of these videos up on there, but I will soon and be posting them on YouTube. But every video that I do, every real estate Q&A session that I do, it's on my page in the IGTV section titled Real Estate Investing Q&A. So you can go find that. Go find all previous episodes there. I never delete these videos. I post them to my story, not my story, but my feed right after. But yeah, if you got any value today, screenshot me. I don't care if I look ugly or whatever, mid-talking. Post it to your story, tag me, let folks know what we're doing. So we can keep growing this thing, and so we can keep adding value, keep having these discussions. This is powerful. I'm not charging you guys. I'm not telling you guys you got to pay this. And we just here chopping it up. So outside of that, I thank you guys. My YouTube channel is at strongarm_invest. Go subscribe. When I start posting those videos on YouTube, you'll get the notifications so you can watch. I'm going to post all my previous videos, all 58 weeks on my YouTube channel. I just have to have time to do it. But other than that, guys, thank you for popping in here. I don't know who's still in here. Who's still in here? Let me see. Kyle the King, Camille, Leisure, Michelle, Torrin, what's going on? Mr. Thomas to you, Cowboys Nation, Maybach, Maj, I don't want to misspell your name, Maria Moore. Hey, thank you guys. I love you. Thank you. And I will see you guys next week. Cowboys Nation says, keep up the good work. Yes, thank you. You guys keep on showing love and supporting. It's actually time to go out into the field. I have been in the house all day, which is very rare, but I have some things to do. So see you guys later. Post more videos. Stay tuned.